Hello everyone, Tammy here. Welcome to Self-Care Sunday. Welcome to my channel. Um, I've gotten some new subscribers over the past couple weeks, and I welcome you if you are watching, and welcome back to my longtime subscribers. Oh, this looks like it's just completely dried out. Anyway, I'm just gonna play today. I'm gonna kind of do a recap of my self-care journey so far this year. And I'm just gonna talk while I'm having some coffee with friends. I know I've shown this mug before, but I love it. 4 feet makes it sweet. Coffee with friends, and on this side it says, everything tastes better with dog hair in it. I don't think I agree with that, but hey, it's the way some of us live. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I have some inks. I have some watercolors. I have some book pages, and I just want to make some collage papers. This is usually what I glue on, but I just thought it would be fun to just make some book page paintery, is that a word? So that's all I'm going to do. I'm just shaking these up so I don't have to spend a lot of time doing it when I want to use them. I don't even know if I'll use them now that I'm shaking them all up. Okay, so I'm going to open these are my watercolors. They're called Pelican. They're super pigmented. I love them, and I seem to remember that they did not cost that much. So what I like to do before I use them is just, my water's low, I'll spray some water on them. There we go. Just to kind of activate them a little bit and let them set. Okay. So I also want to show you that I talk about that I'm a bad, I'm just messy in my studio. So this brush, this is a Simon's, I think it's called. They're not cheap. So one brush probably cost 20 bucks. And I left it in water for almost a week. So yeah, it's holding up really well because it is a more expensive brush, but all the paint's chipped off, and yeah. So anyway, I just thought I'd show what happens when you leave your brushes sitting in water. Yeah, and I don't mean to. It just happens. Okay, so for those of you that are new, and for a recap for those that have been around for a while, I had a rough 2022. I'm also having a rough 2023, but I am treating. I'm in 2023. I'm actually processing through it. In 2022 and prior, I just pushed a lot of stuff down and didn't. I didn't face a lot of things, and I wasn't having health issues necessarily. I was having some stomach issues, but otherwise I was having a little tiny bit of high blood pressure because I go to the dentist 3 times a year, and I'm just gonna start playing while I'm chatting. And when I go in, every time I go in, they take my blood pressure, and so it's been hot. I have always had very low blood pressure. Like a normal for me would be like, 110/60. That's my normal. And when I was going in, it'd be like 148/80. which was kind of shocking to me, but they didn't worry about it that much. But I've also been going through a lot of stress, a lot of reliving a lot of trauma, um, from my childhood, and yeah, it's just been rough. I've had a rough few years, actually. So, um, yeah. Anyway, so I decided at the first of the year, to do a self-care journey, and I've done a video every Sunday, um, since the first week of January. I don't think I started the first week, actually. I think I started second week, but whatever. If you search my playlist of Self Care Sunday, um, you'll see all the videos. Some are longer and more upbeat than others. Um, I think one time I just did a short, maybe. I can't remember. That was after I found out my friend died in May. Um, but the reason I started, I'm getting way off track, is my mom passed away in November, and she had dementia, and so and her and my dad live in the apartment below our house. And so really wasn't allowed to care for her that much. I mean, I tried. When she would come up the stairs, I'd sit with her, and sometimes, we would talk. Sometimes she would yell at me. Just sometimes she would tell me, she's going to call the police, and she doesn't understand why she's here. And, it was bad. And, I talked to my dad a little bit about, that I thought it was time to move her into a home, and he wouldn't hear of it. And yeah, it was just, it was hard, because I knew, pardon my language, but I knew the shit was going to hit the fan at some point. So I was on edge. And I was dealing with some PTSD from my childhood, hearing my parents yell. My dad yelled at my mom quite frequently, because my mom got to a point where she was hitting and just trying to bite and throw things and pinch, and my dad still said he wasn't, it wasn't time to move her. Um, it we should have moved her in last year, or at the beginning of 2022 is what we should have done. But I was not in charge of her care, so I didn't have much to say about that. So this would be a nice to use in fall color, or to use like in a fall journal. So I like that one. Okay, so that was watercolor. So this time I'm just gonna randomly drop some ink while we keep talking. So anyway, yeah, it was very traumatic. The whole thing was traumatic. I'm not gonna, go into detail, because it's just, yeah, I don't want to relive it, basically. So anyway, I started the self-care journey after the death of my my mom, and I knew I needed to do something. Yeah, and so yeah, so I just started it as a way to basically help myself, and I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't really have a plan. I tried to make a plan, but I have found, since last year, that every time I try to make plans, they get derailed. So I'm just not planning anymore. I'm just going off the cuff. I might have an idea, like this, for example. I knew that, I wanted to do some talking, and I just thought that this would be a good way Oh, it is leaking through a little bit. That's okay. Um, anyway, so what I did was I just started making self-care Sunday videos, and I invited anyone who wanted to play along, if, and I know I have people that don't have channels that are, participating. We've all had a rough few years, and everybody's going through different things at their own pace, and and that's all fine, that's all great. Some people, maybe they needed the self-care for the first couple months of the year, and now they don't need it, and that's great. I'm everybody's working at their own pace. I'm just doing weekly prompts. They're pretty easy. They're pretty short. They're um, and this week I don't necessarily have a prompt. But what we've been doing in June is revisiting things that we liked to do when we were younger, and maybe taking up one of those things again. My plan for June was to learn how to use my digital SLR camera. And I found that when I tried to do that, that I just I didn't have it in me. It was just too much. It was too hard. It was too I think if my friend had not died in May, that I would probably be in a better spot. But I'm kind of back to not being able to concentrate for um, any length of time, and that was getting better. I feel like that's part of my grief, is that I'm restless in my thoughts. And that's all of it's okay. I'm not like complaining, but I found within that first week of trying to learn the camera that it wasn't going to work, so I pivoted, and I kind of committed to working with paint this month. And so that is what I've been doing, very randomly and not consistently, but I've been showing up every week with paints. Um, and actually it's been really nice. I've really enjoyed it. And um, so that's June. So anyway, what I want to say was I want to kind of do a recap of the new habits that I've picked up on this self-care journey, because I believe that um, you know they're they have been the things that I have been doing have been instrumental in my healing. And I just want to do just a recap on the things. At first, when I was doing self-care Sunday, we were doing something different every week. There was a different prompt on a different theme. Starting in May, well, was it April or May? I can't remember. We started doing affirmations for the whole month. So we focused on affirmations, and then in June it's been, doing something that you loved to do when you were younger. And I think July is just going to be play. Just pick something. It could be a continuation of what we've been doing this month, but just play. Play is what July is going to be all about. It's summer. Play can, be swimming. There's so many things that playing could mean to any of us. So anyway, getting to what I have been doing. So like I said, I was having some stomach issues. I was just getting ready to call my doctor when my daughter suggested that because I don't have a gallbladder, that maybe I try some gallbladder enzymes. And I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. What is... Well, at first she said, well, when you had your gallbladder removed, didn't they tell you about... I'm like, no, never even heard of these. So I got some, they're called Dr. Berg, research, if you're having some stomach issues. I started taking them, and within a month, basically, I still get an icky stomach if I'm super stressed out. I'm having a health scare at the moment that I'm not ready to talk about, but I had to go to the doctor last week, and I was extremely scared and nervous, and I'm not a huge fan of my doctor or the organization that they are, but I couldn't get in to see another doctor until the end of the year. Everything's booked out in this area. It's just hard. And in fact, the diagnostic exam that I need to get, I can't even get it done until August. So anyway, I was nervous, and I did get a little bit of an icky stomach. Hang on, I'm getting some paper. Some more of this book, actually. Because I did have some stomach pain and diarrhea, but it went as soon as I, got back from the doctor. All of that stopped. It's just my anxiety presents itself in my stomach. So, but the enzymes work. So that freed me up to think about moving on to actually like exercising, and I joined Curves, which, for those that don't know, it's like a woman's resistance workout program. And I've done it before. I did it in the past, and I really liked it and enjoyed it and stuck with it. So I decided to join since I got my stomach under control. And so I've been doing that. So I've been taking the enzymes. I've been exercising. My goal is 3 times a week. Sometimes I make it 4. Sometimes I only make it 2. But I just keep going. And I kind of wake up with the intention of going. But there have been times that I go in and I work out, and especially shortly after my friend died, and I barely made it out to the car before I started crying. So, and I did have a crying fit in the gym at one point, and so if I'm feeling tender, I just stay home. And to me, that's also part of self-care. So I have the enzymes, I have exercising, and I have been an off and on meditator for years. I did a lot of meditating when my kids were young to help with stress. But it hasn't been anything I've stuck with or done regularly. And I do like to do guided meditations. So I found a app. It's called Insight Timer, and they literally have thousands and thousands of free meditations. So highly recommend. I for 40 days now, because the Insight Timer, it counts. For 40 days, I have been meditating every day, usually twice a day. And sometimes I will do like a midday also. So sometimes I'm meditating 3 times a day. I do an amazing morning meditation that has affirmations on it that I listen to as soon as I wake up, and I can tell that I'm up. I stay late in bed, and I just put the headphones on and I listen to that morning meditation. And then I do At night, I do something called, it's a meditation called Yoga Nidra. And for those that don't know what that is, it is a form of meditation to reset your nervous system. And I started doing that actually more than 40 days ago, because my therapist Heidi she does yoga nidras, and she is on an insight timer. But anyway, when I first heard, the one that Heidi had shared, I knew that this was exactly what my body needed. So I've been doing yoga nidra daily, and those are longer meditations. Some are, well, they're mostly 30 minutes to an hour. And the thing that I kind of like about the yoga nidra is that it's okay to fall asleep. Um, and sometimes I do, and sometimes I don't. It just kind of depends. Um, so yeah, so now we have the gallbladder enzymes, exercising 3 times a week, meditating twice a day, affirmations. So the affirmations have kind of carried over with me. And it just so happens that, like I said, the meditating that I'm doing, morning meditation, has affirmations in it. But yeah, throughout the day, I will think, an affirmation, and I'll sit with it and say it. And so that's another thing I've been doing. And these are all new habits that I've picked up since the first of the year. Let's see what else. Well, we did a thing about music, um, for one of our self-care Sundays, and I made a desert island playlist. Um, and so that's been really fun. When my husband and I went to the Oregon coast in April for a little mini vacation, we listened to that on the way there and the way home, and yeah, it was nice. I actually made one that has some of his favorite songs that I wouldn't necessarily put on if it was just my list. Um, but we enjoyed it, and we do like similar music. Yeah, so let's see what else. Can't really think of anything else. Well, I've been doing therapy, but that actually started in 22 after my mom died. Um, so that doesn't really count. But I have started going to Regular Women's Circle. It's an online, um, and I'll put the link to her website if you're interested. And she also does intuitive collage, and she does a new moon or full moon ceremonies too. And she does new and full. She does it both, so that's cool. So I've been doing those things. And women's circle is kind of, I used to lead a women's circle in my home before COVID, so I wouldn't say that's new to me this year. So that is something that I have done in the past, so I'm trying to stick with things that are new from Self-Care Sunday. There's another thing I've done diet wise, besides the gallbladder enzymes. My daughter has been seeing a nutritionalist because she has a lot of stomach issues. My husband, I don't usually have stomach issues. Mine just came on in the fall through all the stress with my mom and the PTSD with my parents yelling and my mom going into hospice and what it took to even get her into hospice. I mean, it's just, yeah, it was just one thing after another. And then that's when my stomach really acted up. But she's had ongoing issues long term, and so has my husband. So her nutritionalist mentioned eating, not eating enriched flour. So for those of you that don't know, I did not know this until my daughter told me. I just saw enriched flour on an ingredient and didn't even think anything of it. So when flour is enriched, it is usually sprayed, or not sprayed, but it could be. There's a bunch of synthetic additives added to it, and they do that because they don't trust that Americans will supposedly get the vitamins and minerals that they need from fruits and vegetables. So they make these synthetic things, and one of them, folic acid, people with a certain DNA marker cannot process the synthetic folic acid. Folic acid found in food is fine. It's the synthetic version that is not good for people. So my daughter stopped eating it, and my husband and I we decided to stop eating it too, and that has also made a big difference, surprisingly. Not eating the enriched flour. So you can find it on, when you look on the label, if the first ingredient is enriched wheat flour, or enriched unbleached wheat flour, bleached, whatever, it has synthetic folic acid in it. And so I stopped eating that. And almost every single breakfast cereal has it sprayed on. And it's just not, like I said, some people have no issues with it. It's not, they don't even think about it. But for others, yeah, it's not great. So, yeah, so that's another thing. I did do this in the fall, so I don't know that it really counts for this year, but I am continuing this year. I stopped drinking alcohol. I did not have a problem with it. Like I didn't have a drinking problem because I really didn't drink that much. I mean, when my kids were young, I drank probably way more than I should. But I, as far as drinking goes, I didn't, at least recently, in the past 10 years, I really don't drink that much. But it was when I did drink, if I'd hang out with friends or, whatever, I would feel so awful for days after. And so I made the decision to stop drinking. So I decided that in September, and so I've made it through my mom's death and my friend's death without drinking. So yeah, that's obviously not a problem for me, but it is of note of how awful I felt when I did drink. What else? Oh, I've used them off and on in the past, but pretty regularly, essential oils. I have some blends that I use for specific things. And depending on like the energy, or I know this sounds woo-woo-y, but like where the planets are, or if Saturn's big, I have a Saturn essential oil, and so I'll wear that. I have this spray that I use. It's Mercury, and it has coconut oil, lemon, rosemary, bergamot, and spearmint. And it is just like the planet Mercury. It's for like creativity, communication. I have a little write-up that I keep here. used during projects, writing, creating, planning, um, word, detail word, like working, with words, writing, travel, and if you want to prepare for a challenging conversation. I just spray this when I come into my art room, just like that, just kind of all around my head. And I'm always hoping that it helps me sound smart and articulate in my videos. I don't know if that's actually true, but anyway, I think that's it. That's a lot of things that I've started this year. So I had meditating 2 times a day, exercising 3 times a week, gallbladder enzymes, therapy, women's circle, intuitive collage, using affirmations regularly. I made a desert island mix that I enjoy. It's really nice to listen to if I'm not feeling great. And, like when I had to go to my doctor, um, another reason why I want to find a new doctor, because my doctor's about 45 minutes away. Um, I listened to that, and it's all like my favorite songs. And so that, and then stopped eating enriched wheat flour. Yeah, so I think healing in general, even if it's a physical ailment, I think doing many things is the only way to find any relief. I don't think, if I was just doing meditating without all the other things, I mean, it might help eventually, but I think it's a combination. And like with most things, you have to find your rhythm. You have to find your things that that help, because everyone's different. And that's why I offer up the weekly self-care Sunday videos, and I offer a prompt. But if that's not your thing on that day, week, whatever, don't feel inclined to do it. If you have something that's working for you or that you've done, I would actually love to hear about it in the comments. I'm not really searching for anything. I might at some point start doing yoga. That's something I've also done off and on, but have not really had a permanent yoga practice. But I think that's all I have for today. I did in the video that I posted on, I think it was on Friday, it was just a quick, the one for Tina at Shabby Dabby Doodah. I mentioned a video of my friend who died. I talked about that in that video, and I said I posted it on my Instagram stories. I found it on YouTube, so I will link the video of my friend where she talks about the Pike Place Market. She was a big advocate and worked. Her and her husband were artists at the Pike Place Market for probably 30 plus years. And she worked there in some of the shops before that, and so she recorded this message in April, just like 3 weeks before she died. So I want to share it with all of you. So yeah, that's really all I have for today. I hope you enjoyed. I always in June I plan to do kind of a follow-up on what I've been doing in Self-Care Sunday and how it's what's working. I don't think I've really done anything that didn't resonate besides my camera thing. Yeah, that was a failure. And it's not like I might not go back and revisit it. I'm just not at a headspace, where I'm ready to concentrate and, yeah, actively concentrate, I guess I should say. I have been watching a lot of mindless TV, and I know it sounds like it's probably not good for me, but I don't watch it for like 10 hours a day. It's like, if I've been doing something, like shooting this video, it's been a little bit emotionally draining, and it's just how I recharge. And yeah, for those of you that are curious, I either watch Schitt's Creek, which I absolutely love, but it frequently makes me cry because it's so sweet. So I try not to watch things that make me cry. And yeah, I'm gonna really like embarrass myself and say the main thing I've been watching is Supernatural. I know, it's so awful. It's like the worst TV. It's like there's nothing redeeming about it. But it's just so fun, and there's nothing really sad in it, and it makes me laugh a lot of the time how ridiculous it is, and I don't have to pay super close attention. So yeah, so those are the two things. My husband and I have been watching a lot of really great TV. So that's been fun. And yeah, that's it. That's what I got. I'm kind of closing on this. It's kind of turning into this little firework themed, that I think is kind of pretty cool. So yeah, so I will leave you and let you go about continuing to work on whatever you've been doing for June to, something you enjoyed doing when you were younger, or it could be something you've always wanted to learn how to do. I just put painting on the back seat for a while, so I'm excited to get back into it. So yeah. So like I said, if you all have added something into your self-care routine that I, didn't mention, or something that you like to share that's working for you, I'd love to hear it. And I will remember to put some links in the description. And I want you to all have a great day. And please remember to be good to yourselves. And I'll talk to you soon. Bye.